However, now I found out that my boyfriend is first off sleeping with way more people than I am. And the biggest slap in the face is a lot of these girls are from the same high school we went to. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over two different stories dealing with open relationships, where in both situations and stories, the girlfriends, proposes this to their boyfriends, and it doesn't exactly work out in the way the girl expected. The first one is from a girl, she's only 20 years old. 20. And she wants to have her cake and eat it too, keep the boyfriend, but still get some sausage on the side. And it doesn't work out well for her because you're going to see, well, the boyfriend can also get girls too, and she doesn't like his high numbers. Second story is about a gal, 25, asked her boyfriend the same thing. And by the way, both these stories, the guys initially obviously weren't too gung-ho about it. They had to do some convincing. But the second story, same thing. Big mess, big roller coaster. Just goes to show these things don't work. But it's always funny. Whenever I do these, it's the same pattern. That the woman proposes this, the guy goes along with it reluctantly, which is stupid. And eventually, either he finds someone that he really likes more than her and ditches her, or he starts having relations with lots of gals, and she doesn't like that because she assumes that her number will be higher than his, and she wants to close it, but it's too late. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, the level of being selfish is just unbelievable in these stories. So, without further ado, the first one is titled, I, a 20-year-old female, pushed my 19-year-old boyfriend to an open relationship, and now I'm afraid he's going to leave me. There you go. Starts out saying, so basically the title says it all. I've been dating my boyfriend almost 3 years now. We started dating in high school. Our sex life was really amazing, but recently it had begun to lose its spark. My best friend at the time told me the only way to fix the relationship is by opening it up. Her best friend told her this. We could really dig into this. First of all, how do you know the best friend isn't jealous of her with a boyfriend wants to sabotage? Or maybe the best friend likes her boyfriend and wants to hook up with him. And she's seeking her best friend's wisdom and knowledge for relationship stuff. Well, this girl here is 20. So I'm assuming her friend is somewhere in that age range. You tell me your typical 19, 20, 21-year-old girl is so worldly, so knowledgeable about relationships that she is the master Yoda of relationships and she's going to her for advice. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. So I sat down with my boyfriend and explained what an open relationship was. I was really excited because it was a new experience. My boyfriend obviously wasn't really big on the whole idea. How many times have I read situations, scenarios just like that? But the guys cave and go along with it. And at the end of the day, what really this is all about is she wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants to keep the safety and security of the boyfriend, obviously have a guy in her life, someone that's stable, but the freedom to run out and go hook up with dudes left and right. And by the way, it's not like they're married. They're in a, relationship for 3 years. So if she's not happy, then okay, it's time to break up. But these gals are so selfish nowadays. They're like, oh, I can have both. And it blows up in their face. It says here, literally a week of convincing and explaining the pros and cons to him, he finally agreed. It did seem like he didn't want to, as he said it would permanently change our relationship. She spent a week back and forth trying to convince him. I mean, but obviously she's that selfish and doesn't care about his feelings that she's going to get what she wants here. And he caved. But he said flat out he didn't want to do it, and it's going to change the relationship, and watch what happens. So, we opened up the relationship, and it's been a few months, and I have been sleeping with one of my coworkers. She says no feelings or anything like that involved, and it's been fun, but I miss sleeping with my boyfriend, and honestly wanted to end the open relationship and go back to monogamy. What do you bet that she had that guy lined up already in advance before she even had the conversation with the boyfriend? I'm willing to bet a lot of money on that one, because that's usually how it works. And it's interesting, she says she's not sleeping with the boyfriend anymore. In essence, they're broken up. Now listen to this. However, now I found out that my boyfriend is first off sleeping with way more people than I am. The tragedy. And the biggest slap in the face is a lot of these girls are from the same high school we went to. And the biggest slap with them is that my boyfriend is now in love with open relationship concept, and I really want to go back to monogamy. This is the same girl who spent a week trying to convince the guy how wonderful open relationships are and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't want to do it. Right? We all heard that he didn't want to do it. And said he'll permanently change it. Well, he went along with it. And now she's mad because he's getting way more action than she is. She thought it'd be the other way around. And he's hooking up with girls he went to high school with. Well, obviously there wasn't a contract about that. And now he wants to keep doing it permanently. So now she realized she's going to lose her meal ticket, her permanent guy. So now she wants to close it. I mean, you want to talk about selfish, but this is usually how these stories go. She says, I don't know. I also feel really betrayed that he would sleep with people we went to high school with and girls that he told me not to worry about. Hey, you started this, honey. It's your fault. Too freaking bad. He can do whatever he wants. But right there, guys, perfect example. Now, real quick, I'm going to read some comments here because these are good. One guy says, this is priceless. You wanted to F other guys, and now you're upset that he is effing other girls. You brought this on yourself. If you cannot commit to being monogamous, don't be in a relationship. There's an idea. Or if you want to be in a polyamorous one, don't be upset if your partner is more successful. It's clear that you can't handle that either. You feel betrayed that your plan to F more guys backfired. Yeah, this is interesting because ordinarily, you can get a gal, she's 20 years old, so she's in her prime, and I'm assuming she's above average looks, I'm assuming here. So you can get a gal who's 20 years old that's above average looks, I'm not talking like 9s and 10s, but let's just say a 7, and she can literally hold up a sign saying free P, and there'd be a line a mile long of dudes ready to nail her. They'd be all sitting there have their number in their hand waiting, right? So it's interesting that he's getting more girls than her, but hey, I think that's perfect. Another guy says here, your friend gave you horrible advice, but you accepted it because you were too short-sighted and self-absorbed. If your friend wasn't concerned about you, then they wouldn't have been giving you the advice without considering the pitfalls and your well-being. Remember, this is her worldly, all-knowing friend that gave her the advice about the open relationship. I still got to wonder if that friend is hooking up with her boyfriend. I remember seeing a post exactly like this, but in that case, your side was traveling and wanted to sleep around. She came home to realize your boyfriend had been having women over and one was staying in the apartment while visiting from out of town, and your side was sleeping on the couch. You made your bed, now lie in it. If you don't like how this turned out, don't make the same mistake twice and pull your head out of your ass. And last one. This guy says, well, your friend was wrong, first of all. You should have started with communication and trying different things with each other. Also, not just anybody can be open. You seem like a jealous person despite that being what you thought you wanted. Yeah, so you make your bed and you lie in it, tough shit, honey. And that perfect example, again, how it backfires. It's quite funny when I see these things. Because, again, the guy didn't want to go along with this. It's not like he was, like, jumping up in the air and doing cartwheels and jumping at the opportunity. She spent a week trying to convince this guy. So tough shit, and it's probably going to end at this point. Now the next story, because that was a quick one. Title, I, a 25-year-old female, asked my boyfriend, a 30-year-old male, to open up a relationship, and now I'm seriously regretting it. Now listen to this shitstorm of a story, guys. This, again, backs up my opinion on this subject. She says, I read a lot about polyamory and open relationships and whatnot on Reddit and did some research on other sites as well, and it seemed fairly interesting. I talked to my boyfriend of 2 years about it, and eventually we agreed to try it out. Eventually, and she said, we tried. No, there was no we agreed to this. She browbeat him, manipulated him to the point that he finally caved. For whatever reason, these guys always do that. The agreement was that we could tell each other about our partners if we wanted to. Looking back, I realized this was a mistake given what I'm about to say below. Well, the whole thing is a mistake, honey. Within days of opening the relationship, my boyfriend found a woman to have you-know-what with. This was kind of shocking. Excuse me. A little dry throat this morning. This was kind of shocking because I was still just warming up to the idea of sleeping with someone else, and he was able to do it right away. Maybe because your boyfriend's a cool dude. Maybe he's a good-looking guy, or maybe he's like, my girlfriend doesn't love me because she wants to go F other dudes and doesn't care if I F other women. So I'm going to move along here and find a chick to replace her. Maybe that was what was going on. It's been a few months now, and somehow he's been able to sleep with 7 women that he told me about. High five, bro. I don't promote this lifestyle. I think it's stupid. However, since she brought it up and obviously manipulated him into it, I say high five for him, obviously, again, having higher numbers than her. Meanwhile, I've only slept with one other guy that I met on Tinder, but I was incredibly disappointed. I felt like he treated me like trash, and he ghosted me after we met. That's called Tinder. Tinder is a cesspool. That's what they do. Meet, hook up, and usually somebody's getting ghosted because it's full of trash. He made no effort to make me orgasm and finished fairly quickly and left several minutes after that. This experience was somewhat traumatizing to me, and I haven't slept with anyone but my boyfriend since. Yeah, meanwhile, her boyfriend here is nailing chicks left and right. She says, when we have sex, it seems like the spark has gone. I don't feel the passion anymore, and while he does make an effort to make me enjoy it, it seems like he's doing it because he feels like he has to instead of because he wants to. Because you obviously broke his heart. He probably thought he had a good thing going, and you blindsided him with this whole open relationship thing. You're getting exactly what you deserve. You brought this on yourself. Even when we're just hanging out, he doesn't seem to enjoy my company as much and seems to get kind of bored. His phone keeps blowing up with texts, presumably from the girls he's seeing, and I glanced at his Tinder once he was checking it, and he had over 400 matches. I also found out that one of the girls' Instagrams that he's been sleeping with, she was quite attractive. More attractive than me, I feel. No way, there's no other way to make a woman more insane and jealous that you break up, and you start dating a woman that's not only better looking, but also younger. That she knows darn well is better than her in the looks department. That makes him crazy. And right here she said that I feel she's more attractive than me. I knew he was handsome and in good shape, but I didn't realize he had the ability to get interest from women so quickly. I always thought of him as a bit quirky, which I liked, but I thought other girls would be turned off by that. See, she thought that, maybe he might get a girl after a while. She did not expect this. Her plan is backfiring, just like with the other girl. We are in an era, guys, where more guys are finally starting to wake up and improve themselves. And these women are shocked when these boyfriends go out and they get more action than they do. Imagine that. Also, probably got more guys that are wising up to things and aren't getting involved with girls like her. Because they probably heard, oh, she proposed an open relationship? She's trash. Who knows? I don't know how to feel about this, but I feel like I made a terrible mistake. I don't have it in me to sleep with other guys besides my boyfriend, but apparently my boyfriend doesn't mind. It makes me wonder whether he finds me attractive or not, and he actually loves me. I'm deeply hurt by this. I seriously regret opening up the relationship because I love this man, and I always felt that he loved me too, but now I'm uncertain. You didn't love him, because if you truly loved him, you would not want other women touching him. You wouldn't want to be hooking up with other dudes. You're not in love with him. Now, because you feel like you're losing him, and any number of one of these women that are better looking than you are going to take him away, now all of a sudden you're back to being in love with him, and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread in terms of love and relationships. That's what's going on. You are selfish, just like the chick before. Selfish. Things backfire, and now you're not getting your way, and now you want to change the plan. Too late. She said, I love this man. I always felt that he loved me too, but now I'm uncertain. What I tell you about women and uncertainty, right? They're attracted to uncertainty. Who brings uncertainty to women's lives? Bad boys. Who bring certainty in their lives? Nice guys. She has uncertainty now, and now she's drawn to this boyfriend, and she sees all these women are into him, so now she finds him more attractive because they do. This is how it works. Even if I close off the relationship, I feel like the well has been poisoned so thoroughly that I will always feel insecure. I am deeply, deeply heartbroken. Oh, boo-hoo. Everybody, the world's tiniest violin is going off right now. You brought this on yourself. I don't want to hear how heartbroken you are or how the well was poisoned. You poisoned the well, sweetheart. I am deeply, deeply heartbroken. I love this man dearly, and now I feel like he doesn't love me. I don't think closing the relationship will solve this, but I don't want to break up with him either. I'm so shocked at how this turned out. I know that my jealousy is out of insecurity, but I can't help it. I just don't like this, and it was a horrible mistake. Just like the other girl before, you make your bed and you lie in it. End of story. What do you guys suggest that I do? I still haven't talked to him about it, but I don't want to either out of embarrassment at what I have done. I've been speaking to my therapist about this, and she said the relationship is no longer tenable. But I feel like she has a bias against open relationship, and that's why she's telling me that. Do you think she's correct? I don't want to think that she is. Well, here's what I think. It's over. Okay? You want to close a relationship. You want to close this open relationship you proposed and convinced him to do because it isn't working out the way you wanted it. And now he's having a good time. And I'm willing to bet you guys that if she would have this, let's close this open relationship speech, he'd say, see ya. End of story. That's what's happening. And I guarantee she knows that. So she's getting the worst possible situation. She realizes it backfired. This guy who she thought that, as she described, I think girls are really into him. He's kind of quirky. All of a sudden, all these women are into him, and better looking ones than her, I might add. And now she's feeling insecure. She's feeling jealous, uncertain. All the traits that will draw women towards guys. As I've said countless times in my other channel and the stories I do, that's the bad boy attraction. And now she wants him back. Too bad. Not going to happen. And I think what's going to happen is this guy, I got to wonder, seriously, this guy's just staying with her just to make her pay. I mean, you connect the dots and it kind of almost appears that way. But who knows? So what can she do? Frankly, I think she needs to make her bed and lie in it. She brought this idea, have some accountability. I know that's the big joke. Good luck having a typical gal nowadays have accountability, but count for your actions. You brought this on yourself. End of story. But I think it's awesome that both guys in these stories, both guys, different ages, they're having way more success than the girl. I think that's it's karma. I think that's a great payback. So at the end of the day, break it off with the guy, learn your lesson. Don't be such a selfish a-hole. But good luck with that one. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below and what you think about this. I'm sure this is going to be a popular video, so comment away. And also, guys, you come across a really good story you'd like me to share on this channel, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Most of the time, the stories I do are from Reddit, so if you frequent Reddit and you see something good, by all means, send it to me, and I'll definitely cover it down the road. Just make sure you include the link, and we'll go from there. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.